I was waiting for it to start.
Okay, now.
This is Regions.
Okay.
Good, it works.
Okay, great.
We'll just turn it off for now.
Hello. How's everyone doing? My name is Regence Norwoods. I'm a Senior Certification Officer with the Department of Procurement Services. So one of the responsibilities I have is to review certification applications for the local program and for the federal program. So today we're going to talk about the federal program. Is anybody currently in the process already of applying for the DBE, which is the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, and the ACDBE, which is the Airport Concessions? You're in the process? Okay, I'm sorry. Our little microphone, because we are live streaming. That's okay.
I have three.
It's okay, you'll just speak to it.
Yeah, I put it out DBE and WBE through Illinois Central Management System, but I'm interested in the ACDBE.
Okay, so you're not currently certified at all with the city through any of the programs?
Is that the Illinois Central Management?
Yeah, that's the state. That's a state certification. Like each agency has their own certification. The only certification that the city of Chicago has reciprocity with is the Cook County for the local program, and then for the DBE, ACDBE, it's CTA, Metra, IDOT, and PACE. So those are the federal programs. Okay. One other thing I would like to do is understand what your business does, if you don't mind. What's your name and the business?
Sure. I'm Tracy McGee. My business is Step Center. I have a line of travel organizing.
Okay, great. Thanks.
My name is Jason Bonaparte, and President of DBE Industrial Solutions, we're an electrical contractor company in Chicago, and we're currently MBE certified.
Okay, I know your firm name, so I probably looked at your information.
I'm Helene Bonaparte. I'm with DBE.
Okay, great. Thanks. And then just go ahead and reintroduce yourself.
My name is Andre House, President of DBE Creations, and we create air freshener maps, which are like Disney maps.
Okay, great. And one more.
Hi, Charles Cole, my company is Rebuilding Repair.
Okay, great. So you're a construction company. Great. All right. Well, thanks. I'd like to kind of get a feel for who's in the room. So, yeah, if you can wait for the questions in the end, then we can get through this. This will be about 20 minutes long. This is shorter than the local program. So today's workshop, we're going to talk about the DBE, so get familiar with my acronyms, and the ACDBE, Airport Concession Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, the requirements, the certification process, the application process, what the benefits are to becoming certified with the City of Chicago, and then what happens once you are certified. So I won't focus too much on what happens when you are certified, because we have specific workshops that will be really useful to you to attend, and there is a one-pager out there, and we can talk about that at the end. So the DPS, Department of Procurement Services, we are the contracting authority for the procurement of goods and services for the City of Chicago. The majority of the departments come through our department to procure goods and services. We pledge to work together as a team and with our customers to guarantee an open, fair, and timely process by establishing, communicating, and enforcing superior business practices. Integrity, public trust, and the law are our guiding principles. DBE certification requirements. So the City of Chicago is a federal grant recipient subject to the U.S. Department of Transportation, DOT, and the Federal Aviation Administration, which is FAA, DBE, ACDBE requirements under 49 CFR 26 and 23. Those are the regulations that we follow when we're reviewing your applications for eligibility. So the objectives of the DBE and ACDBE program, which I'm just going to call it the federal program, is to ensure non-discrimination in the award and administration of DOT, FAA-assisted contracts in the department's highway, transit, airport financial assistance programs, and airport concessions programs. And it's designed to create a level playing field on which eligible businesses can compete fairly for DOT-assisted contract opportunities. The DBE program provides guidance for the participation of DBE firms in federally funded contract opportunities. So 49 CFR, parts 26 and 23. So 26 is the DBE, and ACDBE is just slightly different, but it follows the same guidelines. Airport concessions is specific to that. Airport concessions, vendors that want to operate a concession at the airports or provide a service to those concessions that will benefit the customers, the people going through the airport. So a business must be a for-profit company, a small business, which is at least 51% owned by one or more socially and economically disadvantaged persons. So, and whose management and operations are controlled by one or more of the socially and economically disadvantaged owners. Airport concessions, again, can include businesses that provide management consultation, goods, supplies, and advertising services to concessions operating at an airport. And that's just to name a few. That's not inclusive of all of the services that can be provided. So groups defined by the certification requirements are Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, Native Americans, Subcontinent Asian Americans, Asian Pacific Americans, women, and other individuals who can individually prove social and economic disadvantage. Size standards, so the business size standards have to be a small business. So DBE, the firm's 3-year average annual gross receipts of the firm must not exceed the SBA size limit for the primary line of business or the maximum of 23.98. So what we do here is we'll do an analysis. We'll request your business tax returns for 3 years for the federal program. And including that plus, any affiliates you have, if you have multiple businesses, we'll look at the gross receipts. We'll look at the taxes and the gross receipts for that. And then even additional income, like if you have rental income or, income that's reported on your tax returns on like a Schedule C or something. And then we'll average the 3 years. And if it exceeds $23.9 million in the DBE program, you're not considered a small business. Or lesser of. So for like electrical, I believe it's 16.5 million now. So the business can't exceed that, the lesser amount, okay? And then ACDBE is slightly higher, the same calculation, except it's 56.42 million. So the gross receipts is significantly higher because it's the airport concessions. And then there's some businesses like car rentals that have different. It's 75.23 million for car rentals, 1 billion for banks, 1,500. So we're looking at employees for payphone companies, and 350 employees for automobile dealers. I don't think that applies to anybody here. And so those are your business size standards that one day, hopefully, you'll exceed, but then you have to get out of the program. So, another thing we look at for economically disadvantaged is the eligible owner's personal net worth, and this is for all DBE and ACDBE. Generally, the initial application will look at this. So if the owner's personal net worth exceeds 1.32 million, after taking out the primary residence and the mortgage and your business interest in the applicant firm, if it exceeds 1.32 million, you're not considered economically disadvantaged. So you have to meet both of the criteria, socially and economically disadvantaged. Okay? So the following steps must be completed before your firm can be considered certified DBE or ACDBE. You must submit we encourage all of the applications be submitted electronically, online. It's on a secure portal, so all of your information is safe. And the website is chicago.mwdbe.com. And that's the same website that you would go for your local, like if you were applying for the local program, if you're doing your you do a no change affidavit every year, you'd go to that website. So that's a favorite. And then you have to attach all of the information that's mandatory. So there's going to be two sections when you're attaching information. Mandatory is mandatory, like you have to provide something and upload something, even if it's a statement saying we certify new businesses. If it's a new business and you don't have tax returns, you just please upload a statement and sign it. And that would be for any area that doesn't apply. And then an explanation for. And then another requirement of the federal program is the on-site interview visit. So that is field analysts generally will be in touch with you towards the end of your application to do an interview and just go through some standard questions, understanding your business, what your role is, things like that, and a site visit to see if you have inventory, if you're a distributor or supplier, we'd look at inventory. If you're a construction company, we'll look at your equipment, things like that. So that's, and we would like to do that at either your office or where the majority of your equipment and inventory is. Okay, so you'll need the following documents in order to fill out the application. So this is a federal program, so evidence of your citizenship or legal residency, so birth certificate or U.S. passport. Well, the birth certificate, or if you're a legal resident too, if you have legal residency here. And then the initial proof of contribution by the owner. So that's supporting a documentation of how you got the funds to start your business. And it could simply be $1,000 or less, and that's just to start up funds. So we want to see where that came from. And if it came from your savings account to your business, we like to see that transaction. And then business documents for the specific type of firm. So if you're a sole proprietorship, we would look at copies of your assumed name certificate. If you're a partnership, we'd ask for a copy of your executed partnership agreement and the assumed name certificate. If you're a limited liability company, we would ask for copies of the original and amended administrative agreements and the assumed name certificate. And if you're a corporation, copies of articles of incorporation and bylaws. And so another thing about this is the document, you need to be active with the Secretary of State. You can't be dissolved or revoked or not in good standing. It needs to be active. If you're a sole proprietor, obviously that wouldn't apply. So additional documents we ask for are copies of your W-2 or 1099s for the current and previous 2 years for all owners. Again, 3 years of signed U.S. federal, corporate, or your business income tax returns, including all of the attachments and schedules. So that's important too. Same with your individual tax returns. Ensure that your schedules, additional schedules, if you have, a Schedule E, if you have a Schedule C, make sure that's all included. And we'll also ask for financial statements, which should include your balance sheet and your income statement. Not all businesses have the financial statements, but we do require the tax returns. Again, the on-site review interview is required, and we either visit your office or, a warehouse, depending on where the majority of your goods are. And so depending on the circumstances, a firm may or may not be notified when an on-site visit is being conducted, but we generally will schedule that with you. Okay, so approval, denial of application. So depending on, the ownership structure, disadvantage, the business size determination, the personal net worth, those things that we talked about, we look at that, and that will help us determine if you're eligible or not. Independence and control. This is very important because the majority owner, the eligible owners must have that independence, must be able to independently run their business and control their business. And even like the critical functions, the technical experience should lie with the majority owner. And each application is different, but those are things that we look at, and that can be determined through your resume, your different certifications, licensing, whatever requirement, like electrical has electrical license is required for that electrical code. We'd look at that's active. And then the burden of proof is with the applicant, so they need to prove to us this, and we'll evaluate all of those eligibility requirements. With the DBE, ACDBE program, there is no application fee, so it is free, which is different from the local program. There is a small fee with that. Certification as a DBE and or ACDBE provides opportunities for participation in US DOT and FAA federal funded contracts with the City of Chicago, Illinois Department of Transportation, Chicago Transit Authority, Metra, and PACE. So I stated earlier, we're part of this Illinois UCP. So each of those agencies that I mentioned accepts the certification. So if you're certified DBE with the city, you don't need to go through any other agency. You present your certification, and you would be able to work on those contracts. And we have a relationship with a number of other agencies that can provide assistance. So if you're having trouble with your application, you can definitely call us, but there are assist agencies, and they are online. I don't know if we list them here, but you can find a complete list online. And the City of Chicago federal program demonstrates the city's continued commitment to the success of minority and women-owned businesses. We do try to complete the certification application process within 90 to 120 days, depending on staffing and staff load. But that is our goal. We provide, again, a one-stop certification. So once you're certified with the City of Chicago as a DBE, ACDBE, your certification is accepted through IDOT, Metra, PACE, and CTA. So you can sign up online for DPS alerts and the Department of Aviation alerts. So hopefully everyone's already registered there, and then you'll get alerts for contracting opportunities, different events, fairs, and workshops, things like that. All City of Chicago and its sister agencies' contracting opportunities can be found online. So one thing to note, though, is if you are obviously applying for different contracts or bidding on different contracts, and it's not through the city of Chicago, most agencies have their own DPS or procurement website. Okay? And again, we provide you a list of agencies that provide assistance to the DBE firms, and they can assist in various services like business development, how to get a loan, how to complete your application, all of that. And then I did mention, too, that we do have these various workshops. So assuming you do get certified, there's doing business with the city. And the next one we do have scheduled is January 29th. And your business is certified now what? That's the 23rd. And if you're not already MBE or WBE, which is the local program, we have a how to become certified through that. And if you are interested in that, I highly recommend applying for the two together, both federal and local together, because then it can be reviewed at the same time. Because if you apply for DBE now and then wait and decide you want to do MBE or WBE later, even though you assume we have all of the information and evaluate, it still takes time, to get to that. So if you want it done efficiently, do it all together. And you can do the M and the W together if you're a minority and a woman, and a veteran or a person with a disability. Okay, well, there's different, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. YouTube is really good for all of our previously recorded workshops. So if you can't make it to one of the workshops on this day, you could either live stream it on YouTube at your home and listen. You won't be able to ask questions. Or if it's passed already, you can go back and listen to it. Okay, and then this is our website, cityofchicago.org/DPS. It's very involved. We have a workshop just to navigate the website. And any questions for me? So we'll pass around the mic, and then you can just pass it back if somebody else has a question.
Thank you for the presentation.
Okay.
It's my understanding that you are already certified, so that you can apply for the DBE or ACDBE through an expedited process?
So, no, that's expedited. So are you WBE already with the city of Chicago? Okay, so are you asking how to get the WBE through the city, or?
No, so I have the WBE certification already.
Through WBDC. So the city of Chicago has their own WBE certification. That wouldn't, you wouldn't be able to use that on city contracts. You need to get WBE certified through the city. You understand? With that agency, we have a abbreviated application process. It's not expedited. Nothing's expedited here, unfortunately, unless you go through a professional declaration. If you have a CPA or an attorney review your application like they're one of us and attest to it. Yeah. Yes. 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 You would go to our website, this one, you would go to chicago.mwdbe.com and follow the, like we call it the decision tree. So you're not currently certified with the city, but you're certified with CMSDC or WBDC, and then it'll bring you to the right application. Okay. Yeah, and then, but once, like I said, if you're going through that process, then you want to do your DBE and ACDBE application too at the same time. So the same officer will be reviewing everything.
So my initial plan is just to have the ACDBE, but you're
Well, I'm suggesting that if you want to work on city contracts and as a WBE and get credit for that, so if you're a subcontractor, let's say you're a subcontractor and a prime contractor is wants to use you for the WBE credit or the MBE credit, then you would need that certification through us. If you don't have it, they won't get the credit. They want firms that they can have credit because there's a lot of contracts have program goals. Yeah.
Can I ask?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're here till 3.
So, and I just want to make sure that I understand. So, I have the WB certification that sounds like what a national certification is. Do I benefit from also having this also WB certification?
If you want to work on city contracts funded with city funds, yes, you definitely would. Yeah, so that's one of the benefits, right, of being certified is being in a directory. You'll be in a directory, and what was your business again?
It's so travel.
Okay, so product. So if a vendor needs the product that you sell, right? You're selling a product, and they have program requirements. So in order for them to meet their contract goals, they need to allot, say, 5% to a woman-owned business. Then they would get the credit for having you provide them with the goods, right? But you're a minority, I'm assuming? Okay. So if you don't go through that abbreviated process, you could apply the regular way as a M and a W, a minority and a woman-owned business. Yeah, you can apply for as many as, well, ACD, yeah, so if you're going to provide your goods to an airport concession, that's what you're planning to do, yeah, then you need the ACDBE for that. It depends, like where the money's coming from is the certification you need. So if it's a federal fund contract, you need the DBE or ACDBE. If it's city local funds, then you need the M or the WBE. Yes. Sure.
On your website, there was just a concessionaire, I don't know what they call it. But when I showed up with prime contractors, actually wanted to talk to you, if you're not ACDBE certified, so to even get your foot in the door and start understanding what the opportunities are, from what I understand, this is just the threshold to get to the next level to start going to is it a bid product, whatever?
Yeah, so that depends on you, right? You can do business with the city without being certified. You don't have to be a WBE or MBE or ACDBE. You don't have to. You can do business with the city. As far as like having more credibility, not credibility, but having an edge over other companies that aren't certified, you might have more opportunity. That's what she's saying. And that's what the program's there for, to help.
And what the WBC have done is that certification pretty much so much information. So United and stuff. Everything is from what Regis is saying. State is different.
State has their own, yes.
States get their money, tourism agencies in the state of Illinois get their funding from the state. So it's kind of a matching grant program. So what Regis is saying is it's ACDBE is actually also different than the city shop. So you're looking at many, many levels.
Yeah.
You have to look at where the money is flowing. So we were talking about this earlier. There has to be a level of specificity when you're going after all these contracts. So what this does for us, personally, I think it just helps us get out there.
years on tax return, or you only have 1 or 2 years?
Yeah, no, we do certify startups, for example. So if that doesn't apply, like if you haven't filed taxes, you just started your business, you just write a note explaining that you don't have those. But we do ask for individual tax returns. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Behind you.
I was interested in the on-site interview. As you complete all your paperwork, could you give me some little more information on what is expected?
On the on-site interview? Oh, sure. Yeah, on-site interview is, so like I said, a field analyst will contact you in most cases to do an on-site interview at your office or at your warehouse if you have goods. Or sometimes we might even go to a job site, you know, an active job site just to see. But it's general questions. It'll be the majority owner, the eligible owner. We don't want ineligible owners, you know, part of that conversation. So, you know, day-to-day operations, where you got your experience. It's kind of verifying everything that you've provided to us. Do you actually know the information that, you know, you need? Are you in control? Do you have the expertise? That's what we're trying to get at there. Right?
You briefly mentioned the option to have CPA or attorney test your application. That's never much about that.
Sure. Sure. And we do also have a workshop on that for, it's called the Professional Declaration of Eligibility Program. And so that's designed for businesses if we try to get those done in 10 days. So because essentially our work should have already been done, and the CPA or attorney will have to attest that they are familiar with the program requirements. They should be asking all of the same questions and looking at the same documents that we would look at, conducted an on-site visit, done a summary report as if we would have done it, and then we should only be getting approvals. We shouldn't be getting denials from the attorney or CPA. And that, again, we try to get done within 10 business days, I believe. Yeah. But then you will have to pay the price for that. But a lot of the times, I recommend if you're able to do your own application, it's fairly easy to, you know, go through and provide the documentation. Maybe some people just, you know, don't have that time, and we're here. We offer workshops, and you can call us if you have questions. But if you are looking to expedite it because for whatever reason you need it right away, then that's your business decision. It's an option.
Just to piggyback on that,
Sure.
you can't do that for construction. You have to go through the
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. So PDE is only for the local program. Sorry, and not construction firms. So it's limited. It's only for the MBE and the WBE. So, yeah, we have to make that distinction between the PDE. Okay. Well, you do have our contact information. So you can always call us or contact us. Go to our website. I don't know how come here's our phone number. Is there a phone number here? No, but I can give you our phone number if you have any questions. But you could also email us. It's 312-744-4900. Okay? All right, well, good luck, and let us know if you need anything. Okay?